My name is SSesanga Christian Charles. I reside in Wampeo off Gayaza Road. First of all, when I was a little boy before I went to school, I really had a passion for fish. I don't know, because I was staying near the Kabaka's Lake before I went to P1. And it was a wet place. It was a wet place. And I used to enjoy seeing some of those little fishes there, and tadpoles and frogs. And I was fascinated somehow. But when I grew up, then I thought I would enjoy being a fisherman. I would enjoy catching fish. And when I came some 11 years ago and got this plot, got this house, I thought that wet place would make a good fish pond. And I did everything I could, support from friends and my children, and we set up that fish pond. It hasn't done very well because as a beginner, some of those who dig those fish ponds, they deceived me. They didn't dig it according to plan, because there are dimensions and there are ways of, digging it the professional way, but they didn't. And it was costing me a lot to do it again. It would be almost impossible. And even the feeding of the fish, as a new beginner, I didn't do it the way I would have done. So I didn't get much profit out of it. I've harvested about twice, but the last one, which was about a few months ago, I got some good catch. Yes. I didn't count, but maybe some 100 tilapias. Yes. And about 50, what do you call them? These other fish, Malay. Yeah.
So this is an economic activity?
I like eating fish. If I could, if possible, I would like to get away from meat and eat fish. It's only because it's very expensive. But if I had fish of my own, I'd like to eat fish. But I would sell some and get some Uganda shillings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the first time it hasn't done very well actually, but I know where I fell short, and I want to restart it. I want to drain all that water, get all the remnant fish, and then start anew. I will do some cleaning up and put some, detergents, whatever you call them, and get some proper guides, those professionals that will show me exactly what to do and what to avoid not to do.
okay.
And what kind of mistakes to avoid. Yes.
So how do you raise fish in a fish pond here? Because I know fish is supposed to live in the lake. That's where it has its natural food and all that. When you set up a pond like this, what do you feed them with? And how do you even get water here in the first place?
Well, this place is very wet, all of it. This is some kind of a swamp. It's not a very wet swamp, but it's partly swampy. So there are fountains of water that, drain into my fish pond. But on top of that, there is the rain. When the rains come, they add to the volume of water. And right behind that wall, which you've seen, there is a little, you can call it river or streamlet of water that flows from nowhere. It passes just behind. So I tap it. I get some pipe. I arrange those pipes so that I can lower those what do you call them? those pipes. So when it's full, I put it up. Yes. And then there is the exit, there is the inlet. Yeah, so the water goes out and the water comes in accordingly. When I want it to go out, it goes, and when I want it to come in, it comes in. Yes.
Okay, so what do you feed the fish with?
Well, there are these artificial food, fish pellets from the Yuga Chick and from Kajansi fish works. Yes, government fish works. So I've been feeding them on those pellets, fish foods, and also from Lugogo showground. Those sources of my fish foods. Yes.
Okay, so what should the fish farmer avoid if they are to get a good catch at the end of the day?
Well, they should know how to feed them. They're not difficult to feed, because you feed them about 3 times a day, around 9 o'clock in the morning and around 1, and sometime in the afternoon about 4. 3 times. You've got to avoid snakes. You've got to avoid predators. Many of these scavenger birds like kaloli, they eat birds. They eat fish. So they're a big problem and challenge to fish. The fish that
you're farming. So
yes.
Okay.
Fish pondists.
Okay, so how do you become
you also have to avoid running water. It's very dangerous. You must protect your fish pond from running water, because it's not good. It may bring all sorts of diseases and all sorts of foreign, stuff, which is not good for fish. Yes.
So how do you become a fish farmer in Uganda? Do you need license from the government, or you just wake up one day and you're like, I want to farm fish, and you set up a fish pond and it's okay?
Well, normally, especially for those that use wetlands, they've got to get permission from those environmental authorities. I worked on mine, but it is not, I haven't completed it, because there are certain formalities that I've got to do. I've got to do some write-up, but I was authorized by someone, and I'm awaiting to complete my assignment so that I can hand it in, so that I'm officially recognized as a fish farmer. Yes.
Okay, so wait, how long does it take you to introduce fish in a newly dug pond?
Well, you've got to treat the pond. You've got to treat it with some chemicals. You've got to know the acidity. Those experts talk about acidity, pH, whatever, how much acid there is. They treat it, and you clean it from physical refuse, rubbish, and that bad soil, what do you call it? And then they've got to treat it chemically as well. Yes.
And where do you get the fish from? Do you just go and fish some from a lake and bring them here, or you get this from somewhere?
Sometimes you get them from other fish farmers who hatch. They have hatcheries, some of them. If you can't get them from those people, in fact there are many who do that business of selling little fish. You can go to Kajansi, that is government place. You can, so those are the main sources. You don't go to Lake Victoria. No, no.
How do you avoid the predators and snakes around here?
Well, there are some herbs that repel them, like tobacco plants. You could plant some tobacco plants around your pond. There are some other prickly herbs that sprayed on the ground. I haven't used those because the snakes here, there are very many. They've been a problem to me. Every now and then you could see them moving in the water because I'm next to that eucalyptus forest, which has been there for many years, and the snakes are in plenty. We are getting used to them. Yeah, they're part of our ecosystem here. Sometimes when they are very unlucky, you pound them on the head and they feel it.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone talk to me about snake farming. Haven't you wanted to venture
Oh,
snake farming?
I hate snakes like anything. I don't look at a snake. When I turn to a book, there's a picture of a snake, I turn over the pages. I don't want to look a snake in the face. I don't want to look at snakes. When they show snakes on my TV, I look away until I'm sure the snake has gone away.
And I believe this has a biblical attachment.
By the way, yes. Because Satan came to Adam in the form of a serpent, in the form of a snake. So I think I've got a spiritual reason to hate. But before I even thought about Adam, the snake that came to, the serpent that came to tempt Adam and Eve, I just naturally hate snakes. Sometimes I wonder, why did God create snakes? I hate them so much. I think God should have,
Eliminated that in the ecosystem.
yes,
Okay.
gone short of creating snakes. I hate them.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think you're going to take us around your farm. Oh, okay. Apart from fish, what else do you farm?
Well, I've kept chicken, broilers, broilers. I've kept some pigs. I've sold them off now. I've kept 2 cows for some time. I got tired of it because no workers to look. The workers don't want to milk cows. They hate that, and they are very lazy because when cows eat polythene paper, they die. And I've lost 2 cows, big cows, because they've eaten those polythene. And I know now that our house workers don't want, they're very lazy, they don't want to look after cows. Not least, they hate milking cows. Yes.
Is it that hard?
Well, I don't know. It's not hard, but they hate it. And the grass is becoming less and less. We've been taking it to graze near a neighbor's place. But those places, anytime they're being bought, and they put barbed wires, and so you suddenly come to a stop. So I've stopped looking after cows because of those challenges.
Someone has ever told me that the fish that grows in a pond
Yes.
is usually darker in color than the fish that grows in its natural habitat, the seas and the lakes. What causes the difference?
Well, I've had some light-colored fish. Yeah. Today I caught a fish. I found it dead. I thought a predator came and tried to snatch it, but failed to pick it because it was really big, tilapia. It was as pink as that, as her coat. It was as pink as that. So I don't really know. I don't know why some of them are dark. Maybe because there are some shady, dark places around that pond. I don't know, because mine has got some dark ones and light fish. So you've given me some homework. I'll be inquiring why. Are some fish light colored and others dark? Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.